You spend years working toward a big goal. Maybe it's starting your own business, achieving financial stability, or finally getting the recognition you've always wanted. After so much effort, the day arrives. You did it. But after the initial excitement, something strange happens. Life goes back to normal. What once felt like the peak now seems ordinary. And an unsettling question pops into your mind. Now what? If this has ever happened to you, know that you're not alone. Some people, after achieving what they worked so hard for, realize that the feeling of accomplishment is short-lived. Others become anxious, afraid of losing what they've gained. Some settle into comfort without a clear new purpose, while others immediately chase the next challenge without even questioning if it truly matters. What few people realize is that success doesn't eliminate challenges, it just transforms them. Many who reach the top find that they're still not satisfied, yet they can't quite explain why. After all, if I finally got what I wanted, why does it still feel like something is missing? The Stoics pondered this question more than 2,000 years ago. They noticed that while many believe they're moving closer to freedom, they're often just swapping one set of chains for another. And the way we handle this moment can determine whether we find true fulfillment or remain endlessly dissatisfied. If the answer isn't in success itself, then where is it? Most people grow up believing that life follows a clear script. First, you study and work hard. Then you push yourself to achieve stability, recognition, and success. And once you finally get what you want, everything will make sense. This idea is reinforced by stories of perseverance, the culture of merit, and even marketing, which constantly sells the notion that happiness is just one achievement away. But when that moment arrives, something unexpected happens. What seemed like the end of the journey isn't the end at all. The finish line moves forward like a horizon that never gets closer. The satisfaction that was supposed to last fades, and soon a new sense of restlessness appears. Maybe a new goal, maybe a subtle fear that everything could slip away, and so the race begins again. This can be seen in every area of life. The professional who finally lands a high-ranking position realizes that their routine is still stressful, only now with even more responsibilities. The athlete who wins a competition experiences a fleeting euphoria, only to immediately feel the pressure to maintain their performance. The entrepreneur who reaches their first major financial milestone soon feels the urge to double their results, as if stopping were never an option. And then there's the person who dedicated their entire life to work, counting down the days to retirement, only to feel lost once it arrives. Without a clear new purpose, they realize that having no obligations doesn't automatically mean feeling free. This feeling has a name: hedonic adaptation. Humans have an incredible ability to get used to new conditions, both good and bad. What once seemed like a major achievement eventually becomes just the new normal. What once promised lasting happiness is now just part of everyday life, and the cycle of pursuit starts all over again. The problem isn't wanting to grow or evolve. Seeking more knowledge, experience, or even better living conditions is natural. The real problem arises when this pursuit is never questioned, when every accomplishment becomes just a stepping stone to another with no real satisfaction in the present, and when the desire for more turns into an addiction rather than a means to something greater. If this cycle is never interrupted, the risk is spending an entire life climbing higher without ever stopping to take in the view. The feeling of progress can be addictive, but is it enough? What happens when we realize that the endless pursuit of more might actually be pulling us away from what truly matters? If there's one thing that drives us, it's the feeling of making progress. The idea of moving forward is what helps us endure difficulties, sacrifice short-term pleasures, and keep going even when everything feels tough. After all, we believe something better is waiting for us ahead. But what if that promise is an illusion? What if, instead of heading toward a final destination, we're just running in circles? The pursuit of the next goal becomes automatic. We achieve something, and before we even have time to take it in, we're already thinking about what's next. Not because we've truly reflected and decided we want more, but because we've been taught that this is how it's supposed to be. Successful people often describe a strange feeling after reaching a major milestone, a quiet restlessness, an unexplainable void. Some try to fill it with more work, others with distractions, and some simply avoid thinking about it altogether. We keep moving forward without realizing there's no clear direction, just the habit of pushing ahead. We're always busy, always chasing something, but without questioning where we actually want to go. And when there's no clear direction, the urge to keep running doesn't come from a conscious decision. It comes from the fear of stopping. Because stopping means facing the silence, and in that silence we might realize we don't really know why we're running in the first place. The Stoics warned about this mistake. Marcus Aurelius wrote in his Meditations that many people live like leaves in the wind, carried by desires they never questioned. Without clarity, we become slaves to expectations that were never truly ours. We work, achieve, accumulate, but we never stop to ask, does this actually matter, or does it just keep me busy? If we never question the real purpose behind what we're chasing, we risk spending our entire lives busy but never truly fulfilled. After all, which is worse, never reaching what you want, or realizing that what you wanted was never enough? The Stoics always understood that success is temporary. Cleanthes, one of the early Stoic philosophers, taught that life should be guided by reason, not by fleeting impulses for achievement. He saw many men accumulate wealth and titles, only to realize too late that they still felt incomplete. Their restlessness didn't come from a lack of success, but from the mistaken belief that success would bring them lasting peace. That's because the pleasure of success is short-lived. Seneca wrote that we are often more frustrated after getting what we want than when we fail to achieve it. This happens because it's not the accomplishment itself that transforms us. It's the expectation of reaching it. The pursuit of a goal generates intense anticipation, fueled by imagination. We idealize what life will be like once we achieve a certain milestone, creating the illusion that fulfillment awaits us there. But when we finally arrive, the transformation we expected doesn't happen, and our mind quickly shifts to the next goal. This cycle creates a dangerous illusion, the belief that happiness is always one step ahead. Emperor Hadrian, who ruled Rome at its peak, realized this too late. After spending a lifetime building and expanding the empire, he spent his final years in deep melancholy, understanding that all the power and achievements in the world could not give him the sense of fulfillment he had sought. He had remained in constant motion, never realizing that his direction was an illusion. The Stoics knew that true wealth is not found in reaching a destination, but in how we navigate the journey. Chrysippus, one of Stoicism's greatest thinkers, said that a wise person does not measure life by what they accumulate, but by the serenity with which they face challenges. If everything we desire depends on external factors, we will always be vulnerable to what we cannot control. And yet, most people continue chasing achievements as if they could offer more than just fleeting moments of satisfaction. The problem isn't in wanting to progress, it's in the illusion that progress alone will bring lasting transformation. Without reflection, success can become nothing more than a sophisticated form of dissatisfaction. This mistake worsens when we start tying our identity to our accomplishments. If we see ourselves only as the sum of our achievements, any failure or stagnation becomes a direct threat to our self-worth. This mindset turns growth into an obligation and rest into guilt, creating a cycle where we never allow ourselves to simply exist. That's why the Stoics believed that one of life's greatest challenges isn't just reaching our goals, but learning how to handle them once we do. Those who rely on success to feel fulfilled will always be restless because there will always be something new to chase. True balance comes from knowing how to enjoy the present without becoming a prisoner of the future. A pursuit without awareness makes us prisoners of our own expectations. The more we cling to the idea that success will bring fulfillment, the greater the chance of disappointment. The Stoics warned that a man who does not govern his desires will never be truly free. This is why, to them, the real path to inner peace was never about acquiring external achievements. It was about mastering the mind. If success is temporary, and the pleasure it brings is brief, then the only way to find stability is to change how we relate to it. And Stoicism offers practical teachings that can help us do exactly that. If we understand that success alone doesn't bring lasting satisfaction, the most important question becomes, how should we deal with it? If the endless pursuit of more traps us in a cycle of restlessness, then what did the Stoics recommend as an alternative? The first fundamental teaching is indifference to the outcome. This doesn't mean abandoning ambition or giving up on hard work. It means not tying our inner peace to external success. The mistake isn't in striving for achievements, but in believing that they alone will bring fulfillment. Many people spend years obsessing over a goal, only to realize that the feeling of accomplishment is short-lived. And without even noticing, They're already chasing the next target, as if it will never be enough. The Stoics believed that this restlessness comes from the illusion that happiness is always on the next step, rather than in the journey itself. When the mind is constantly projecting a better future, the present becomes unsatisfying. A business owner who reaches their financial goal quickly feels the need to earn more. A professional who gets the long-awaited promotion immediately sets sights on the next position. An athlete who wins a medal soon feels the pressure to keep winning. Each victory seems to be just another step toward the next one. Another essential principle is moderation in desire. The Stoics didn't see a problem with seeking progress, but they warned about the danger of being ruled by insatiable impulses. No wind is favorable to those who don't know where they're going, Seneca wrote, and that's the reality of someone constantly running without reflecting on why. If every achievement becomes nothing more than fuel for the next goal, without ever bringing genuine satisfaction, then success stops being a goal and turns into a prison. This applies especially to financial life. Many people believe that reaching a certain level of wealth will finally bring them peace of mind. But what actually happens? The number in the bank account grows, but the anxiety doesn't disappear. The fear of losing money kicks in, and the feeling that it's still not enough lingers. It's not money that brings security, it's how we relate to it. If you want to learn how to apply Stoic principles to your financial life and break free from the anxiety of always needing more, there's a guide that can help. The ebook, Stoic Wealth: How Philosophical Lessons Can Transform Your Financial Life, offers practical Stoic teachings on building a healthier relationship with money. You can find the link in the first pinned comment. Real change doesn't come just from understanding these ideas, it comes from applying them. The Stoics saw no value in theoretical knowledge without practice. They cultivated daily habits that strengthened their discipline and kept them focused on what truly mattered. Which brings us to the next principle: conscious action. Instead of acting on impulse, the Stoics made decisions based on reason. Before setting a new goal, they asked themselves, does this goal truly matter, or am I just trying to fill a void? If the answer wasn't clear, they avoided wasting energy on empty pursuits. This kind of reflection can completely transform the way we approach work, money, and ambition. At its core, Stoicism doesn't teach rejection of success. It teaches how to handle it without becoming its prisoner. Those who understand this can appreciate their achievements without the constant anxiety of needing more. They live with ambition, but without restlessness. They pursue growth, but with purpose. And those who grasp this principle discover something rare: the realization that even without being at the top, they already have everything that truly matters. If satisfaction isn't simply an achievement, then where is it? The Stoics teach us that true fulfillment comes from how we relate to our ambitions, not from the ambitions themselves. The pursuit of progress isn't the problem. The problem arises when we believe that each victory will bring permanent contentment. To break this cycle, we need to shift our focus. Instead of constantly chasing the next goal, we must learn to find value in the process itself. This doesn't mean abandoning our goals, but rather redefining our relationship with them. The Stoic philosopher Epictetus taught that the key to freedom is to desire only what is within our control. In other words, we should work hard, stay dedicated, and pursue growth, but without placing our happiness solely in what we don't yet have. When we learn to focus on the present and find meaning in what we are doing now, the restlessness for the next level starts to lose its grip. Another essential shift is replacing a scarcity mindset with one of sufficiency. In a world that constantly tells us we never have enough, money, recognition, success, the Stoics remind us to train our minds to recognize what is enough. This doesn't mean stagnation or a lack of ambition, but rather avoiding the trap of always postponing fulfillment. When we learn to appreciate the present without being obsessed with the future, we find a rare balance. We grow without being enslaved by growth itself. This is the real antidote to endless dissatisfaction. Understanding that fulfillment isn't in the destination, but in how we experience the journey. Success can be a result of our efforts, but it shouldn't be the sole purpose of our existence. When we learn to appreciate what we already have and what we are building in the present, progress stops being an obsession and becomes something natural, without rush, without anxiety, and without the illusion that happiness is always ahead of us. Now tell me, have you ever achieved something that left you with this feeling? Share your experience in the comments. If this video helped you see success in a new way, don't forget to leave a like and subscribe to the channel. It helps us keep bringing content on Stoicism, personal growth, and finance. And remember, the peace you're looking for isn't in the future. It's in how you choose to live the present. Stay on the path to prosperity. Until we meet again,